Start with a dream and share it with some friends. The idea deepens and grows. The dream takes shape, it has form and substance. A community soon arose. A listening room, the hearing room, a place to find a home to play. A listening room, the hearing room. Express yourself and have your say. The walls are thin, and sirens blare. The tables sit near folding chairs. The stage is set with paint and glue, and love went into every screw. The light shine bright on every star. They come to play from near and far. The light shine bright on every star. They come to play from near and far. The listening room, the hearing room, a place to find a home to play. The listening room, the hearing room. Express yourself and have your say. Hearing room, a listening room. You're welcome here, so have no fear. The hearing room, the hearing room. Come in, my friend, where art can bloom. And welcome to the Woodshed Podcast. I'm Aaron Tornberg, and this is the Woodshed Podcast live from the hearing room. And we are here with Alex Sabau, who is going to entertain us and illuminate our lives for a little while we go through this weird time of having social distance. So Alex actually walked in, and I didn't shake his hand. I felt bad. But, we're not supposed to do that. Not for a while. Not till they figure out what this thing is. So I am, of course, talking about the coronavirus. And I wanted to mention more happy things, though, today. The hearing room is one of those happy things. The hearing room is a great place to come and enjoy all our events. We have lots of stuff going on every week. The basic structure is Tuesday open mic, 7 to 10. Wednesday, Let's Have Words. It's a spoken word night, open mic, and that's 7 to 10. And Thursday is the Singin' Jam with Mark Allio. The Singin' Jam is where everybody comes and plays together. They put words and chords up on the screen, and it's really a fun time, and 20 to 30 people show up. And then we have Friday jams. There are different themed jams on Friday. And the theme jams are like the first one is acoustic, first Friday of the month. The third Friday of the month is bluegrass, and then it varies on the other weeks. So hearingroom.net is where you check the details. And Saturdays, we have lots of stuff going on. In particular, we have Performance Lab and other sort of rock and roll / electronic events. We have some synthesizer people who come here regularly and do some amazing stuff with synthesizers. I never really played with that before I came here. And watching them go to work on different music that they create from these electronic machines is amazing. And then Sundays we have the drum circle, 12:30 to 1:30, and open mic that I run is 2 to 5. And that's more like a song circle. So we have a good time. And then we have the podcast on Mondays, and that's Monday nights at 7. And it also runs Thursday nights at 7. And it's a lot of fun, too. So you should listen in. And we do have some special podcasts coming up because there's a lot of people who want to get out there and perform. And it's a good venue to do that. So
we're going to be doing that as well. I also want to thank the Greenville Junction Shop. That's Junktion. Junction, Shoppe, Shoppy. So it's the Junction Shoppy. And they are in Greenville, New Hampshire. They're going to have a store toward the end of spring, early summer. And you'll be able to get stuff. But the stuff they sell is upcycled. So it's all used stuff that has been refurbished and made into something very desirable that you might want. So they have furniture, they have household appliances. You could probably find a toaster and a microwave. They have electronics. I bought a computer there, actually. I got a table there. There's all kinds of stuff you can find. You can find them right now on Facebook Marketplace. So they're under Greenville Junction Shoppe. Junktion The Greenville Junction Shoppe is available on Marketplace and soon to be available in a concrete establishment. I don't know if it's concrete, actually. I could be lying about that. But it's an establishment in the middle of Greenville, New Hampshire, downtown. It's bustling, I'm sure. Oh, you know what's interesting about Greenville, though, is they have an interesting place. I went for lunch that it's Little Red Riding Hood's house from the original published book in the United States. So you should check it out. Go to Greenville, make a day of it. So, Alex, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Aaron?
I'm good. And I'm excited you're here. So, what kind of guitar do you have there?
Here on my person is a Taylor GS Mini.
Wow. Nice looking.
Yep.
And sounding. Yeah, I've been looking at Taylors. I think everybody should be issued, if you're a musician, you should be issued a Gibson, a Martin, and a Taylor, and then decide which one you like. But when you first start playing, you should just get a Gibson, a Martin, and a Taylor and go, I think I'm going with Martin, or I think I'm going with Taylor. Don't you think that's a good idea?
I think that's a great idea.
I think that should be a government program for the arts.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I think that would be very popular. So, anyway, where are you from?
I am originally from Bucharest, Romania, and now I reside in Haverhill, Massachusetts for 92, 2002. For almost the past 30 years, mostly on, a few years rambling around the U.S.
So were you conscious in Bucharest?
Yes, I hope so. I was 4.5 when I left.
Okay, so you sort of remember it?
I have a few memories, and I don't know if they're memories of what I was told or actual, flesh and bone reality memories. But I do have a handful of memories that are really near and dear to me. Hopefully I can hold on to those for a while.
Did you ever go back?
I haven't. Most of my family actually moved in the early 2000s to Italy because after the fall of communism, it kind of, really decimated the country, the economy, and the infrastructure and social services. But yeah, they moved to Italy to find work and a stable place to live, and I've been lucky enough to go there 3 times since then. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they're kind of like the nucleus of the coronavirus pandemic, global pandemic.
Right. I've been reading about Italy. It's a little scary.
Yeah, it's tough. They're under really strict quarantines and kind of lockdown, but they're making the best of it.
Actually, did you see the pictures of the Venice canals? Wildlife has started coming back to the canals because usually they're just really busy with the boats.
Wow.
And now you can see the bottom.
I saw something about that. I don't know if it was a joke, but it was like dolphins are swimming in the Venice canals. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yes, that is. Yeah, that's the thing is they're coming up further than they normally do because
Right.
the boats are quiet.
Right.
There's nothing going on.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how, nature can reclaim a little bit
Yeah,
once all the civilization comes to a screeching halt.
that's right. So, so you grew up a little bit in Romania. You speak Romanian?
I do. I speak fluent, broken Romanian.
And so, is it something you actually speak with your family as well?
Rarely. I would say rarely. I know my father always tries to speak in Romanian to him, and I can carry on a conversation, but it's obviously a lot easier just to speak English.
Yeah.
But with my family in Italy, a lot of them I converse in Romanian a lot more than English.
So, you came here without your family or with your family?
I came here to the States in 89 rather. Sorry. My father came in 87. It's actually a really interesting story. He defected in 1987 from communist Romania, and he crossed the Danube River at night with a few friends of his on a raft and landed in Yugoslavia, and was actually in the camp of refugees for 6 months there. And then he got sponsored by, I believe, the Catholic Church, some program, and he went to Dallas, Texas. And over there he worked a couple of years, saved up money, and in June of 89 he sent for my mother, my brother, myself to come over.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild story.
So, how did he escape? I mean, was it like he had to just leave you guys there, or?
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty solid family structure there, so it was basically making, a pretty drastic but important life choice, for the future of the family. But yeah, he had to flee communist Romania. It was definitely forbidden to leave, to defect. So he risked his life.
So what was going on then during the communist period? That was, I know they were a little bit, the conditions were difficult for some people.
Absolutely. They were terribly difficult. I actually spoke to my mom about this yesterday, and we were just, catching up, seeing how everybody's doing, if anyone needed anything. But she had mentioned, it's serious, and it is, it's troubling and inconvenient. But when we were kids and when she was, younger in Romania, we experienced way worse. We experienced, food shortages, no heat, no electricity, complete loss of social services, because of the communist regime under Nicolae Ceausescu. It was really, really terrible.
Now, what did he do to the people other than that? Like, was he actually throwing political prisoners in jail?
And worse, there was, politically based assassinations. People just would disappear. And actually, my father, he had worked in the provincial palace as a mason and like a stone carver, and he had noticed, as time passed of him, working there, he noticed people just would disappear, never to be seen from again. So there was an incredible amount of, political assassinations and just injustices to the people there on behalf of the regime.
And how long was he in power?
Ceausescu, I have I should brush up on my history, but I'm pretty sure he was in power from around the mid to late 60s to the revolution happened in December of 89. So maybe roughly 20 years, more or less. But modern historians actually argue that, they call it cult of personality, rivaled Stalin's, and, what he did to the country, him and his wife and, the whole political party were really terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard his name, but I don't know a lot of Romanian history, other than the fact Dracula's from there. But other than that,
Absolutely. That's a shining claim to fame.
Yeah,
I like to wear that as a badge of honor.
Vlad the Impaler. That's lovely. You haven't been back, but I assume it's better there now.
Yeah, it's definitely better there. They're part of the European Union. It is more stable. I don't think it has completely recovered. It really takes a long time to improve on conditions on a larger scale. There's still a lot of corruption in the government, and I feel like they've been making progress towards kind of rooting that out, but it's kind of a constant battle.
So you came to Texas from Romania once your dad got settled?
No, he had moved when he was sending to bring my mother, my older brother, myself over. He had moved to Boston, actually, so we can have, really solid education and a better chance at living a successful, happy life in America.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, we
So you
came here in Boston.
But you grew up in Boston,
right?
Mostly, yeah.
Right.
So when you got done with high school, what'd you do?
When I got done with high school, okay, well, this is a pretty wild trip, but I enrolled at UMass Amherst and went to. I hesitate to say I went to school there because I mostly didn't go to school there for 2 months and did other extracurricular activities and ended up dropping out. I kind of just ditched my midterms and, just dropped out of school and then just started working. I was kind of very restless. I feel like I should have taken a year after high school to kind of get more life experience and mature more. But I definitely wasn't ready for that amount of freedom yet. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, after a little while, in 2003, I joined the military. And I was on my way to a 6-year stint in the U.S. Army.
Well, before we talk about that, let's go back a bit. When did you start playing music? Actually,
I started seriously playing music when I was in Iraq. It was a good friend of mine, John Porzinski, who actually runs the open mic at Hen House in Newton, New Hampshire. He had kind of started a gather. He formed kind of a group of musicians that would hang out in this tiki hut that we had on our base, and we would just play songs for each other and learn songs and kind of hang out and build. He built a really great musical community. While we were really experiencing a stressful time being in combat, it was a great way to kind of diffuse some stress and even have the ability to be a part of some creative, which is really good for your overall health and well-being.
So
2006.
I know you're into folk music, and you play a lot of that. Was that what you started with when you were in Iraq?
No, actually, the first song that I learned how to play was "Jesus Doesn't Want Me for a Sunbeam."
That's a good song, actually.
Yeah, the Nirvana version, the Kurt Cobain version.
Yeah,
but that was just a handful of chords, and started with that and a couple other really easy covers.
Yeah, and so you just started as a stress relief, and then continued to play. Did you do shows for people there, or it was just a social thing?
For me personally, it was just a social and kind of creative thing. I wouldn't necessarily perform. I guess in a way it was kind of like an open mic, amongst our friends there. There was actually a group formed. It was more of a rock group called Leaving Travis. That was the name of the camp. It was called Camp Travis, and they actually performed in the U.S. Embassy for a lot of higher ranking officials and people that worked in the embassy.
What kind of stuff?
It was like hard rock, just a good old fashioned hard rock band. It was good to see him do that.
Yeah. So, so you went to Iraq, and this was what was it? Was Iraqi freedom? You said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, what was it like when you got there? I mean, first of all, you joined, and did you think you were going to Iraq, or?
No, I joined. I did join right before the war on terrorism began. It wasn't. I think it wasn't really getting underway until a few years into my military service. But no, when I first joined, I didn't think about that. It was kind of just a very impulsive decision to join in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But once the years went by, my military time, I realized there was a good chance I was going to be sent over.
So, what happened? You were at the camp learning how to be a soldier, and then went right away, or did you have some stateside jobs first?
Well, basic training was in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. That was in 2003, and then I was in the National Guard for a few years, and then in September of 2006. I joined with 101 Field Artillery out of Brockton, Mass. That was a National Guard unit, and got attached to them and met up with them in Fort Dix, New Jersey, where we did, our outgoing training. And then we were on our way. I remember that first breath so we landed in Kuwait, actually, and just you take 2 weeks for in training and also to get acclimatized to the desert climate. And I remember that first breath of Kuwaiti air. It was unbelievable. I've never experienced such hot air before.
Yeah.
But it was definitely it took a while to get used to it, but eventually we did.
So why don't you play something that something like that you played when you were over there?
This is actually one of the first songs that I wrote, and it was it's called James. It's named after one of my best friends, James Hicklin, in Louisville, Kentucky. But here it goes. Buys out bittersweet and now you're gone. Hotter than July, cool it outside. Fire as the night settles in. Ice cold swimming, then we're wandering. And I just wanna say I miss my friend. I get to see him again. Crazy idea, my mind was clear. You wanted to go upon that ice. There's a river down below, shows you twice. So I put on my coat, went out for a walk. That's when I came to the idea of my home. So we're jumping on that steel so we could know. And I just
just wanna say I miss my friend. I can't wait till the day that I get to. I hope I get to see him again. Days in freedom land, breathing the mountain air. Fire and song as the night settles in. Ice cold swimming, then we're wandering. We're heading back home. 3 years long roller coaster trip to that north. Our goodbyes are bittersweet and now you're gone. And I just wanna say I miss my friend. I can't wait till the day that I get to. I hope I get to see him again.
That was great.
Thank you.
So that was one of the early songs you wrote?
Yep, that was one of the early ones. I don't remember if it was during Iraq, but it was probably the most meaningful song up to that point. So, maybe overall, actually.
Yeah.
I really love that one.
That was... You miss your friends back home is what you're saying in it? Or?
Kind of. He was... James actually moved from Kentucky to Haverhill. He was chasing a girl and, fell in love, got in a relationship. And then sometimes as things go, all good things must come to an end. And when that went down south, he kind of went down south as well. He went back home to Kentucky. It was kind of a bittersweet farewell song, to a really good friend. But yeah, I still get the chance to go down there every few years and spend some time. So it's been good.
Well, it sounds like a great song. I like that one.
Thank you.
So tell me about Iraq a little bit. What was it like being there? What do you do day to day as a soldier?
Well, it really depends on what your job is there. We did PSD, which is personal security detail for the United Nations and the State Department and other dignitaries from America that came over. So we would basically be their outside and or their interior security while they were, traveling to, whatever political appointments they may had with whatever ministry in Iraq. But yeah, we protected powerful politicians.
Yeah. Who'd you get to meet?
So my platoon, 3rd platoon, we were protecting the Iraq. Technically it was called a special representative to the United Nations from Iraq. His name was Ashraf Jengahir Kazi. He was half Pakistani, half Irish. So the UN, head honcho from the UN in Iraq. He was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. So you were assigned to him all the time, or?
Yes. Yep. Okay. Our platoon was strictly in protection of the United Nations. Mm-hmm. But other platoons, I believe Dick Cheney and Condoleezza Rice when they came over, they protected them, and the U.S. ambassador to Iraq and other folks.
So, how dangerous was that, protecting them?
I mean, pretty dangerous, I guess, because, Mr. Kazi actually, his predecessor was a Spanish guy, the UN ambassador to Iraq, and unfortunately there was, I think, a year prior to us starting our deployment, there was a vehicle-borne IED, a suicide driver that drove into the UN compound, and it caused a lot of casualties, and the UN ambassador being one of them. So we were protecting his replacement. So I guess overall it was very dangerous.
So where did you live when you were you in tents, or?
We had actually aluminum trailers, basically. The place was called Camp Travis. It was right next to the U.S. Embassy. They weren't brick and mortar trailers, which was really unfortunate. I wish there was more investment in, housing for soldiers while risking their lives overseas. But, it was just aluminum trailers. You had a roommate. You had a bathroom that you shared with kind of another wing of aluminum trailers. So the whole unit would be basically can house 4 soldiers, and it was 2 soldiers per room.
So how do you feel about your service now?
I've always been proud of my service. I've never had any shame. I definitely have my own political views. I tried, my best to not let it affect my service. I think first and foremost, to me, it was my duty and my, I had a job to do, and I did my best to do it.
Yeah. And so what was the schedule like when you were how do you get free time to do playing or whatever?
It was, so we were mostly, we kind of, at a good chunk of the time, there was we would go out usually every day. The ambassador would have his set schedule, set routine, and maybe a few times a week he would go have these appointments to different ministries. So we'd have a more intense day as far as planning the security around that. But the good part about it, because it was such high profile, that once we were off duty, the time was to ourselves to use. We were pretty confined to the area that we can. Had to be within the compound. We can go to the gym, or play volleyball, play music, read, that kind of stuff. But obviously, given the nature of our presence there, it wasn't too much area that we can travel to amuse and entertain ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think it's impressive you did that. I guess we all have to be grateful for people who do that in any situation, whether it's helping people and putting themselves on the line for the military, or the doctors or firefighters, policemen. But you started playing music there, but then you came back, and what'd you do when you got back?
When I got back, I started getting involved in open mics, more notably, kind of as a foundation. It was the open mic that Bob Beal ran at the Chit Chat Lounge in Haverhill, which is an amazing, supportive environment where, you can perform and you can, kind of get experience on, how, songwriting experience and performance experience, and kind of mixing and mingling with other local musicians, exchange ideas and stuff like that. But that was kind of the foundation, and from there, it grew to, having my own performances at different venues and stuff like that, and eventually touring a few times.
Yeah, and you did a CD on your own, right?
I did. It was actually Bob Beal, who ran the open mic there. He recorded it. It was in 2014, I believe. It was a while ago.
Yeah, and but you were writing songs since the very beginning, it sounds like, of when you were playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And even before I started playing guitar, I would always kind of write poetry or journal entries, or just wrote in general, and I was able to take some of that writing and kind of turn them into a different medium.
Well, when you were thinking about the poetry you were writing, were you always thinking this would be a good song, or did that happen just sort of gradually?
Yeah, I think actually my time in Iraq was a big turning point, where sometimes you're in a position that you don't have the freedom to have a voice. You kind of just, it's pretty regimented, and you have to do your job, and abide by whatever rules are in place. So being able to experience that kind of situation, environment, it was a good motivator to start turning this writing into something where you can express yourself on a different level. I thought songwriting and performance was a great thing, great experience.
Mm. So what did you do for work when you got out of the military?
A variety of things. It was mostly landscaping. In the winters, I would work at our local ski area, Bradford Ski. I worked there a few seasons. One season making snow, like third shift, and that was kind of brutal. Hats off to anyone working third shift. It's
what
definitely
is that?
a grind.
I don't know what that means.
I wish I didn't. I only did it once and never again. I mean, so we would make snow. We would arrive at the hill at around 7, I believe, 7, 8. And, we would make snow all night and leave in the morning. So it was usually around 7 to 7 or a little less. But
is that just like, grinding up ice? Is that?
No, it was, so the snowmaking machines, they were, you had an air intake and a water intake, and it was basically just depending on the temperature, whatever other conditions would affect it, you would, tweak the water in the air, to kind of create, the best quality snow that you can for that condition. So we would, each person would, have their own route that they were in charge of, their own trail that they were in charge of for the shift. And you would gradually, I think every half hour, an hour, you would, go up the ski lift and walk down, adjusting everything and repositioning it so you wouldn't have just a massive, buildup of snow. But, yeah, that's what it entailed. And at the beginning of the shift, it was, obviously if there was any snow on all the chairlifts, you have to knock it all off and clear it for, the next day's ski day.
Mm-hmm.
Very gripping stuff. But
it is. Well, I mean, I didn't know I knew they had to put snow on, but I didn't know I didn't realize people were sitting there all night making it.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, but I mean, for it being the winter, and, it's a great way to combat the winter blues is to, be physically active and, move your body. It's really good.
Yeah, and then what else did you do?
Landscaping. I've always been into landscaping and gardening, and just miscellaneous construction stuff and odd jobs and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much the brunt of my work experience.
Okay. With landscaping, I guess you have to have a green thumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's something about, getting your hands dirty, getting, soil underneath your fingernails, and even sometimes gardening barefoot. Highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
It really keeps you grounded, and pun intended, but truly. and it gives you, I feel, a calmer temperament. You know, it slows you down, and it's a good way of, it's a good therapeutic way of, you know, doing work, but also, you know, enjoying it and respecting nature.
Are you working for yourself?
Yes, I actually, right now, currently, I work for a big general contracting company, so I'm in construction right now, but I have in the past, like, freelanced and stuff like that. I worked for when I was in high school, I worked for a couple teachers of mine that had landscaping companies, and I ended up going to school for it.
Oh, yeah?
At UNH.
Did you get a BA in it, or?
It was actually AAS, applied applied associates in science. It was like a hands-on degree. You know, half the time we spent in the field, kind of practicing, you know, stuff we learned, or plant ID, you know, soil testing, stuff like that. So it was a really eye-opening experience.
Yeah, what's different about going to school for that and learning as opposed to doing it as a job?
I think it just takes it to the next level. It, you know, introduces science into it, and I've heard before, you know, landscaping or land care or designing. It's a combination of art and science, and you know, it's, you know, learning the Latin names of plants. You know, what type of sunlight and soil and temperature they prefer to kind of really grow, to have their best potential in growth. Soil science, learning the hydrological system, sorry. You know, landscape design and lighting, and, you know, doing stuff like artificial, you know, like creating, you know, artificial ponds and stuff to improve the landscape environment. Yeah, it's just a really broad spectrum, and it makes you realize how much there is to know, and how much, you know, I thought I was at, I went in 2009, so for 2004, yeah, so I was definitely past, like, typical college time, but I thought I knew a lot, but when I went to school, you know, even the little that I learned, it made me realize, you know, how little I knew and how much more there is to learn. So it was a pretty humbling experience, but
yeah,
happy I did it.
I think Harry Truman said, it's only what you learn after you know everything that really counts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like thinking of things that way. So do you have another song you want to do for us?
Sure. Let me pick one from the bag of tricks.
Yeah. That's interesting. You handwrite all your lyrics and just keep it that way? You don't type them?
I have typed some in the past. I'm, like, very, very unorganized. So I find that, you know, if I kind of put them in these protective plastic sleeves and try to keep them in a binder, and that keeps them together. I have a terrible memory, so I often read my own lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to pick a good one here.
Yeah. And by the way, do you have a CD available online?
I do have one. It's not on Bandcamp, which I should get on. It's on SoundCloud. You could just look up the album. It's called In Between the Standing Trees by Alexandru Sabau. It's ALEXANDRU SABAU. That's a free download, but I don't have it on, like, Spotify or YouTube or any other typical streaming platforms.
And people can make a donation on SoundCloud, I think, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But if they do, I would prefer that they donate to the hearing room instead.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to still be able to work, and, you know, and get my regular paycheck. So although a lot of my friends, especially in the service industry and musicians that really need that income to make ends meet, they've really been suffering. So I feel like it's part of, you know, our, you know, like communal duty to help out, friends of ours that, are really affected by this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this song's called "Take Me Down to the Valley." I wrote this song in 2018.
Just a young boy, shy, wild and free. I saw those roads could take me far, but where I wanna be. I took one on right down the line, followed where it would go, up to that white mountain range in 7 feet of snow. Take me down to the valley and the spaces in between. I've been a recluse on the land, just living in a dream. Take me down from my perch, seeing further than what should be seen. I wanna feel the blessed earth, then go back to living my dreams. One day I started thinking I ought to leave my way. So many seem unhappy without having a say in their own precious lives, chasing what don't exist. I'll beat to the tune if you're undrum, and if you must refuse, resist. Take me down to the valley and the spaces in between. I've been a recluse on the lam, just living in a dream. Take me down from my perch, seeing further than that should be seen. I wanna feel the blessed earth and go back to live in my dreams.
Thank you.
So I'm going to take a short break here, and then we'll get back to some more music and conversation with Alex Sabau. But I did want to come in here and mention the Hearing Room again. The Hearing Room is really looking for members. We're looking for people who can join us and be part of our community. We need members for $100 a year, and what that does is it pays for our rent and our utilities. That is going to help us make it through the year, basically. So once we have 200 members and they renew all the time, we're good. So we just need that in order to be able to continue to be open. The other stuff we have often is donated through money and through goods as well. But the $100 that you would spend as a member would be to help us just get through the year. And you also get some benefits because you get $5 off all events, you get a t-shirt, and you get a membership card. So you should really think about joining and go to hearingroom.net to find out more information. And we have over 100 members now, so we are getting there. But we can always use more. And also people who will come and actually just be at the door when people come in and greet them. We need that. So if you want to volunteer to do that, and there's other things you could help with as well. So please check out the website, hearingroom.net, for information on our events and also on becoming a member. And I also want to thank the Greenville Junction Shoppe, JUNKTION SHOPPE, They are in Greenville, New Hampshire. They will have a store open at the end of spring, early summer, and we really appreciate their support. They are an upcycling shop, and they also have estate clean out, garage clean out, and all kinds of stuff going on. And if you want to check them out, they are on Facebook Marketplace, and you can buy your stuff right there. And I think they do pick stuff up and deliver. They got lots of trucks and stuff to make that happen. So if you want to check them out, they are a worthwhile organization. They have furniture. They have household appliances. They have all kinds of electronics, things that you want. So check out the Greenville, Junction, Junction, Shoppe, Shoppe, Greenville Junction Shoppe, and check them out. So we're back here with Alex Sabau. So Alex, that was a great song.
Thank you.
And what inspires you usually to write your songs or poetry?
It's pretty. It could just be something simple as some people call it a song seed. It's just a few words together, a phrasing, or just a line, and then you kind of just build on that. I've found that a lot of my songs are they're kind of created on the spot. I just pick up a guitar and if I've had a couple lines written down, I'd sing them, kind of create a melody, and pick on the guitar and write it as I go. And a lot of these songs they're written maybe less than 10 minutes. They're just, that's what they are, and they're not really crafted or anything. They're just really raw, free associative songs.
So do you have any musical training?
I did take a semester of music at NECO, NSX Community College in Haverhill. But other than that, I don't have any formal training of any sort.
Yeah. And so how did you learn guitar? You just did the chord thing?
Yeah, I just kind of, I'm not an expert guitarist. I wouldn't consider myself that. It's more, basic accompaniment for singing.
Yeah.
But, it's amazing what you could do with a handful of chords.
Yeah, or even one.
Right.
How about another song?
Sure.
So what are we going to be listening to?
So this song's called Black and Blue Collared Baby. And it was actually, I wrote this song and I used it in a blues band that I used to be a part of called Back Alley Ramblers. Wrote this song 4 years ago, 2016. But it was, I really love this one. But anyways, just check it out, see if you like it.
Well, I don't need your money, I don't need your bills. Working like a slave for all the sugar pills. Validate a system that slowly breaks you down. Long and wide road, right of this old town. I've got a little thing called redemption. I found a little thing called a cure. Oh yeah. Take you up that hill, look at the valley below. They're clocking in and out for whom the bell tolls. Breathing in out that dust, my lungs burn so slow. Bones are cracking on my spine, nails I'm hunched down low. I need a little bit of release now. Something to bring me just a little bit of peace now. The black and blue collar baby is so goddamn tired. The black and blue collar baby is hot on fire. Oh yeah. Mind your mind and body, we got it well. The wages that you're earning are slowly warming hell. Put coal up on that fire, go ahead and shovel your fill. Money kills desire, but yes it will. I don't need your validation. I don't want you to need me on your side. And I don't care about your expectations. No, honey, I don't need you to make me feel alive. The black and blue collar baby is so goddamn tired. The black and blue collar baby is hot on fire. Black and blue collar baby is so goddamn tired. The black and blue collar baby is so on fire. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I like that phrase, black and blue collar baby. That's a good phrase.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's kind of just a working class song, and how, I've seen it with my father and, other folks, but, you work your whole life, kind of really put a number on your body and you really get beat up. And sometimes I feel like being kind of in that existence is really detrimental to your physical and mental well-being. It really creates an imbalance in your work and your life. And I feel like striving towards wage equality and living equality is something that we should really be focusing on in this country and in this world.
Yeah, it would be nice.
A boy could dream.
Yep. So, what do you think your favorite genre is? Is it folk?
I would say overall, personally, I resonate with folk music. Just really down to earth, singer-songwriter type stuff. But lately I've been experimenting and kind of, trying out, listening to different types of folk, different veins of folk. And I've been, really enjoying being on that journey and discovering new artists and stuff that I can relate to and be inspired by.
Yeah. And did you have any mentors when you were doing your music, when you started out?
I feel so. My father was a musician. His sister, his late sister, my aunt, was a musician. Had a grandmother that was an opera singer. My older brother played guitar, so I was really influenced by him picking up the guitar, and then that influenced me picking up the guitar. John Porzinski, he was kind of a mentor in Iraq and a really good friend. That inspired me. Bob Beal from the Chit Chat, and the recording studio, and pretty much everyone that I performed with or saw perform in some way, shape or form has kind of really influenced me in my musical journey. So everybody.
Yeah. Everybody and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Chit Chat was your first thing in Boston. What are you doing now? Because it's Chit Chat, didn't they close?
It was in Haverhill.
Yeah. What did I say?
Boston.
Anyway.
That's all right. I mean,
Boston area.
in the great, yeah.
Greater Boston.
Greater Boston, sure.
So, but the Chit Chat closed a while ago, and then I heard they might have another open mic starting or something like that.
Yeah, they didn't close technically. They a new business person kind of took over the day-to-day operations. They lease from the owner of that building, and they kind of, unfortunately, they dropped the iconic historical Chit Chat name, which has been around since the mid to late 50s, and changed it to something else, and that kind of represented a big shift in the nucleus of the music scene in Haverhill. And yeah, I think they do some kind of, I think they call it like a Sunday showcase that they've been trying out. I personally haven't been there since it kind of changed hands, and have sought out different venues and more house shows and performances such as that.
So I know there's a place that I was seeing for a while, Heaventown, something. What is that place? Sure.
It's not, Heaventown's more of an idea. It's a community of musicians and creatives. And it's just a way to kind of expand and grow as a musician and a performer, an artist. It gives a platform that's more focused on the art and not necessarily kind of the it's not focused on making a profit or supporting any particular business per se. It's more the idea is a non-profit or not-for-profit. And we actually had a kind of a spring kickoff show. It's called Creative Control. A good friend of mine, Andrew Ryan, and I were organizing it. We had an awesome lineup set up, and about 5 artists that were gonna showcase their art over there. And it was going to be at HC Media, which is the old Woolworth building in Haverhill. We were really looking forward to that. It was going to be all ages show, like a nominal donation. But unfortunately, with all this stuff that's been going on, this pandemic, almost every show that you could possibly think has been, shut down because of it. But we hope to reschedule in the near future when the dust is settled.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
No one runs it? It's just kind of a group that you guys formed?
Right now, it's Andrew Ryan and myself. In the past, it's been a lot of different friends and musicians and artists that have, kind of organized it and created these amazing set designs and stuff like that. So kind of the journey of Heaventown kind of has been pretty interesting to see, what structure we create, or the amount of time and effort that are contributed towards each performance. But it's like anything, it's just it's a journey. It's not anything that's set in stone. It's just whatever energy is out there, however we can create something that's bigger than ourselves, and a all-inclusive community is it's a good thing.
Yeah, and I know Ben Bunker is involved with stuff in Haverhill a lot too, and some others, Max Schultz, and you like where do those guys hang out besides Chit Chat?
There's been like some kind of a lot of DIY and house shows that have been going on. And Max is really he's a great storyteller and comedian, and he really has a different perspective on on life and relationships with people. I know he's been on a couple tours and road trips and has done a lot of cool stuff in that kind of vein of performance and creativity. I know he does a lot of comedy open mics and stuff like that. And Ben Bunker is in a really great band called Motel Art, amongst others. I'm pretty sure he's like in 4 or 5 different bands. He's pretty prolific, but they just released an album, and if you go on Facebook and I believe Bandcamp, you can stream it or purchase it or donate whatever to their cause. I'm sure they would really greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
bunch of good guys there.
Ben's going to be on the show in a month or so. I think.
Nice.
Yeah. And I haven't asked Max yet, but he will be asked.
Right.
So
I'm sure he would love to be a part of it.
Well, I was on his podcast.
Oh, really?
Turnabout is Fair Play, right?
Oh, what is it? It's
I forgot.
2-hour parking.
Yeah, 2-hour parking. Right.
Yeah, him and Ben Bunker actually did that in Max's attic, I believe, or bedroom.
Well, I think I did it at Ben's house.
Oh,
when
okay.
I did it. Yeah,
Nice.
it was portable.
Right.
So,
Right.
and they didn't have a lot of equipment, so
Right.
it was pretty bare bones. It was good.
Yeah, I was a part of that. I did an episode with them a few years back. It was a really good time.
Yeah. So what is it with Haverhill that it seems to like just be an arts community in a lot of ways? It seems to have sort of become a hub of sorts.
I think I read this article about a lot of these mill towns that have they're in transition. They're growing past the what it was like to be in the Industrial Revolution era. A lot of these working class, blue collared mill towns have been just a prolific breeding ground for creativity and kind of artistic community, and it's definitely, I think, bred from those type of life experiences. Creativity just flows, and it's a great way to kind of deal with that type of the struggles of that type of life. And also we have there's a community college in Haverhill, and I believe like a Bible college. Just a great group of people and artists in the area. It's been nice to live in that.
Yeah. And you work in Haverhill typically, or?
I currently work in Londonderry. The company I work for, general contract company, they're out of Lowell, actually, Tanner Street. So shout out to Performance Building Company.
Okay.
Really good company to work for, and I've been enjoying my growth there and learning different facets about construction. So I'm grateful to still be able to work, since our job sites, and the one that I'm working on is in New Hampshire, and it's not really affected by this kind of this construction ban and all these the fallout from this pandemic.
Right.
So I've been lucky to still be able to work.
Yeah. You want to do another one?
Sure.
One other song?
Yeah. I'd love to.
Maybe a
So
song.
hydrate a little bit.
Yeah, a song about construction or something. Or not.
Might have to write one.
or write a song about landscaping. Either way.
I have to work on more of that, but the last one I played, Black and Blue Collar Baby, that's more about that. Let me find one.
Yeah, so it's it is cool to watch you guys doing stuff on Facebook, like that's going on in Haverhill. I've been noticing, there's a lot of cool things happening, and it seems like you're a leader in that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always, every community has I feel like that kind of movement and drive to build a creative community, it's kind of all hands on deck. Some people are good at organizing, some people are have a more creative eye and can construct these amazing, beautiful, creative set designs, and everyone has kind of different talents, and I think everyone together equally is what's important to really build a strong, vibrant, diverse, creative community. And I'm just I feel lucky to be a part of it.
So what are we going to be listening to now?
This song is called Psychologic Culinary.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so anyways, here it is.
Sitting on my pile of dirt, don't need money, don't need hurt. What's your happy? Watch the sun cut to the bone, give you blood, don't need no more. I see you shining. Lift your voice, you're no church mouse. Shout it out to roll your cause. Can you move me? Psychological and every psilocybin forest fairy. Don't hold too tightly. What's your hair? Can you move me? And I see you shining. Don't hold too tightly. Come on, everyone, let's go for a ride. Find that sunshine right in front of your I sit in on a pile of dirt. I don't need money, don't need hurt. Oh, what's your happy? I'll lift your voice, you're no church mouse, and to shout it out, to roll your cars out. Can you move me? What's your happy? I see you smiling. Come on, everyone, let's go for a ride. Find that sunshine right in front of you.
Thank you very much.
How about another?
Another one. Okay. Okay, I like this one. This song's called Castaway.
and the sign on her head. She might be looking for money or a sweet little honey to bed. She's your lost and abused, the castaway you choose. But tonight, I just say good night. Her father split before her braces were in, that's rough. Her mother gave her the blame, though those scars still remain broken stuff. She's your burnt bridge nightmare, ain't got no flowers in her hair. Well, you're a gem, I know, but this time I just gotta go. Still a flicker of life, faint sparkle in her eyes I can see. The flame ain't quite out, regardless how it's tough to breathe. She's your sweet misery, the kind of company you never keep. It's not about the looks, you've got me hooked. Oh. She goes from one from another, they ain't friends, they ain't lovers, oh well. A kind of band-aid for pain, though those scars still remain broken shell. She's your fading memory, slipping from your dreams. Spoken and broken, the words I won't say I choked in. She's so unspoken and broken, the words I won't say I choked in. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's an oldie.
So we have more audience now because Liz Bills just came in, who's going to record shortly.
Hey, Liz.
Toward the end of the show, I told you I like to ask a question of what advice you give to other people who want to get involved with music in any capacity, whether it's just for fun, for release of artistic creativity, or for money. What do you...
I feel like, for me personally, it's really good to have a vested interest and be a part of the local creative community, and to, when you're creating, to kind of try to strive towards being in a place of just being an open place and not kind of succumbing to self-judgment and too much kind of negative criticism. It's really important to protect your spirit energy and to be really honest with yourself when you're creating. And I feel like, what comes out of you will be really, will be true, and a lot of people can resonate with, genuine creativity. So just be a part of the community and, feel free to create without judging yourself or others.
So, what's the next thing you're going to do musically? Are you looking to record again?
I am. It's been a while, so it's been 6 or 7 years since I released anything. I've been, involved in different musical projects, but hopefully this year I'll put out another album.
You're recording it yourself?
No, so the last album I recorded with Bob Beal at BB3 Recording Studios in Newton, New Hampshire. He had moved and kind of transitioned to a different career, but he still does recording, and I really like, his abilities and, the way that he records, so I think I would reach out to record with him again.
Mm-hmm. And so do you have another one you want to do?
Sure, I could do.
These are all. Do you ever do covers?
I do. Would you like to hear a cover?
Sure. What do you cover?
I do a handful of covers. I do "Pirate Looks at 40," sung by Jimmy Buffett.
I think I'd like to hear that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Jimmy, but I haven't heard Jimmy Buffett in a while.
Oh man.
I do Margaritaville.
Oh, nice.
Everybody has to do that, right?
I feel like this time really listen to Jimmy Buffett. It's a good way to kind of chill out for a while.
Right, really chill out.
Yeah.
Mother, Mother Ocean, I have heard you call. Wanted to sail upon your waters since I was 3 feet tall. You've seen it all. You've seen it all. Watched the men who rode you switch from sails to steam, and in your belly you heard the treasures few men have ever seen. Most of them dreams. Most of them dreams. Yes, I am a pirate, a few hundred years too late. Cannons don't thunder, there's nothing to plunder. I'm an over victim of fate, arriving too late. Arriving too late. I've done a bit of smuggling, I've run my share of grass. I've made enough money to buy my helmet, but I pissed it away so fast. Never meant to last. Never meant to last. Now I've been drunk now for over 2 weeks. In the past I done a rally in the spring a few weeks. Gotta stop wishing, gotta go fishing down to rock bottom again. Oh, just a few friends. I go for younger women. I've lived with several a while. Although in a way they'll be back one day, I still can't manage a smile. Just takes a while. Mother, Mother Ocean, I have heard you call. I want to sail upon your waters since I was 3 feet tall. You've seen it all. You've seen it all. You've seen it all. You've seen it all.
Thank you.
So,
sorry I couldn't do the solo on that. It's a little above my pay grade.
yeah, well, I'll forgive you.
Thanks.
So, what have you got going once this is all over? Are you going to start doing more? You're going to try to redo that show you were talking about, but do you play like open mics every week? Or?
Yeah, I've been slowly getting back into it. A good friend of mine, Alan Foucault, runs a once a month open mic at Crescent Yacht Club in Haverhill. That's been really great. I've been going to that. That's pretty much it for open mics that I've attended. I'm in a punk rock band that, we play out like once a month, and we're currently writing our 6th EP, and I'm in a new blues rock band that we're, working on new songs and hopefully trying to record a little 5-track or something and put that out and play some shows. But as far as the acoustic stuff, hopefully in the works. In the summer, I'll do something in New England, just kind of a string of 4 or 5 shows around New England and kind of get some traction going. Hopefully put out an album in the summer.
Can you do any of the punk songs?
Can I do any? I am only the singer.
So you don't play.
So yeah, I don't. For that, I kind of just, run around and run amok, if you will, on stage, just screaming incoherent lyrics.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I think this does not lend itself for that type of performance.
Well, maybe you can get us a live recording for the future.
Yeah.
We'll try that.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's on Bandcamp. Bandcamp.com/thegrubs.
So how do people get all your information?
I think the easiest way is to just hit me up on Facebook. It's probably the easiest way to kind of, if I had to pinpoint, way to communicate. The link is facebook.com/AlexGrub, ALEXGRUB. Or you can hit me up on Instagram, which is Sundewyou, SUNDEWYOU, just one word. I think those are the 2 best ways to get in touch with me if you want to reach out, if you want any of the music, or co-create or whatever, hang out, hit me up. Pretty open.
Sounds good. Do you want to do one more before we go?
Sure. I'll do one more.
And again, we're talking with Alex Sabau, and you can check him out on Bandcamp and all the places he mentioned, and Instagram, and etc.
It's hard to pick.
Yeah?
I'll try to... this is a fun one. All right, I got one here. This one's called The Wilds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here goes nothing.
Got your way with the girls, I got my way with the boys. You're getting off on your lines, I'm getting off on your lies. I'm getting off on your lies. Just a simple kid on the way to school. You're a hard-running woman, don't play the fool. Let's play hooky is what you'll say. I'm supposed to hit the books, but I'd rather play. Meet me by the river and I'll show you stuff, 'cause it's hell on earth if you don't got love. Take away the edge, well I wanna rise as we melt infinite in each other's eyes. Got your way with the girls, and I've got my way with those boys. You're getting off from my lies, and I'm getting off on your lies. Not a sure shot, I ain't know the thing. I'm in for the ride, I'm wild out, sing, fly high above, lake off, let's all, no need for running around anymore. Meet me in the clouds, my little bird. Feed your idle child with the sounds you heard. Holding on to something, just let it go. And I'm a running hard, you're a woman that's slow. If you're a hard running woman, I'm a man that's slow. You've got your way with those girls, And I've got my way with those bars. Getting off from my lies. I'm getting off on your lies. On your lies.
Right on. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, Alex, for coming today and doing this. So I will keep an eye out for new Heaventown stuff and new stuff coming out of Haverhill. So, and why don't you say again where people can contact you? So,
Just facebook.com/AlexGrub. That's my personal account. And on Instagram, Sundewyou, SUNDEWYOU.
all right. And so we, it's been a great conversation with Alex, and we are going to be doing hearing room stuff sooner than later, we hope. Hearingroom.net is where you find out the most current information about what's going on and when we're opening up again. And you can also find out information about the Greenville Junction Shoppy by going to Facebook Marketplace and looking them up. It's Greenville, JUNKTION SHOPPE, and they are an upcycling shop. You should check them out. They support the Hearing Room, so please support them. And that's about it. Everybody have a great week.
If you start with